Almost there, family. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to have a good discussion today. I'm going to take my time with this one. This is a very sensitive issue, and I will take my time with this one. Still getting set up here. Give me a couple of seconds. And I just want to let the family know this is not in comparison to FBA's reparations claim at all. But since we have a lot of people from the Caribbean and all other countries always trying to shoehorn and slide their way into our reparations claim, I would like to break down the reparations claim for CARICOM. I think it's going to be very important that we understand that their reparations claim as we go through this. I'll just kill the nanny on it. That is a nothing burger. It's absolutely a donut, is zilch, is zero. There's nothing that they're asking for from the 44 countries from Europe. They're asking for nothing. They're asking for absolutely nothing. So let's break this down, fam. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna let that ride a little bit. Let me know if the music is distracting you from the message. But I think I'm gonna let that ride for a little bit, man, and have a little background noise. So let's get into it. I'm not gonna take a lot of time here, but I am gonna break this down. Now, first and foremost, we understand that CARICOM is a Caribbean community. That's what it means, the Caribbean community. There's what? Anywhere from 9 to 12 countries, I believe. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 countries that is a part of this CARICOM community that they are now demanding reparations from the 44 European countries, because they just simply say European countries. They do not directly speak about any European country directly. They don't do that. So let's first depict what countries are in CARICOM. You see popular countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, Bahamas, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and the most populated country out of them all is Haiti. Now, all of these make up the CARICOM community as of now. So we're looking at 15 countries in total. Now, this is the CARICOM 10-point plan for reparations for justice. It says here that the CARICOM Reparations Commission asserts that the European governments, see, this is why it's not in comparison to FBA reparations claim, first and foremost. I really want you to dissect this with me. They're speaking to 44 countries in Europe. And anytime you attack 44 countries or tell someone you owe them, if I'm a country like Belarus, if I'm a country like Romania, I'm going to ask you how. Why do I owe you money for reparations for slavery? Prove that they were slaves here. So they will have to go through the 44 countries and prove that there were slaves. Now, there's a lot of evidence out there, but the question is, who should they mainly be going after? And should they name them by name? See, Foundation of Black Americans, we know that we go directly to the United States federal government, because those are the ones who sanctioned slavery here in America. Big difference. So it's important, some of the highlights I have here, that we look at this, because it's important, because as we go down this 10-point zilch plan, because it's not a 10-point plan at all, it's not going to help the Caribbean people at all. And I think that a lot of people, the Belize people, the Jamaican people, the Haitian people, should speak out against CARICOM and let them know that you want direct cash payments. That's the first thing, direct cash payments, because that's exactly what all those European nations that you're naming in this plan receive from the backs of your ancestors and forefathers. That's the first thing. Then as we look at this, it says created the legal, financial, and fiscal policies necessary for the enslavement of Africans. That's what they have done. Define and enforce African enslavement and native genocide as the national interest, refuse compensation. See, legal, financial, fiscal, compensation. These are all tangible. This is talking about money, and you're talking about being compensated. Now, if you're going to come out with a plan like this, which is a very bold plan just in name, okay? Not in stature, just in name. Because as we detail this plan out, family, you're going to realize, where's the reparations at? Where's the money? Where's the reclaim of land? And now I'm going to show you how under the Commonwealth of the British Empire, where some of these countries are still under British rule, meaning that the Queen of England is still the monarch, meaning that the Queen of England is still the Queen of the Bahamas and Queen of all these other Caribbean countries. That's what we're going to find out here today. But we're going to comb through this thing because I don't think even some people in the Caribbean know about this plan or what is in this plan. And it goes to show you why a lot of people from the Caribbean try to stake their claim in the reparations right here from foundational Black Americans whose lineage goes back to the slave fields here in America. That goes back to being lynched, goes back to being raped, going back to being forced incest with our own people. So we don't have to write down and jot down all the atrocities of our people. But this is why it's important that we make sure that we stay an exclusive group when we're going after our reparations. Because if it's just every Black person, if it's just for every Black person, that's not their stake to claim, and that will never happen. I know you guys seen there in California how they just voted that reparations will go to those lineage-based, not race-based. I mean, you just coming over here a couple of years and you talking about, oh, I've been wronged by the U.S. government. Shit, you've been wronged by your own government. And here's another thing. As FBA, you know what we can do as well? We can actually start protesting, start telling the British that you owe us reparations as well, because they the ones who started this whole thing. And I don't just want to point out the British because they had a lot of allies with them. They, you know, the British, the Portuguese, the Spanish, may I go on? So it just wasn't one country, by the way. But it says here in the plan that it says impose a further of 100 years of racial apartheid. The same thing that happened in South Africa. See, there's so many countries out there, family, that can actually go after this thing. Good afternoon, Jermaine Anderson and New Atik Gaming. I'm just gonna call you Gaming, man. I'm sorry. All right, I'm not gonna go through all of this as far as the context, but we're gonna go through every point plan here. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can show this to your kids. You can show this to other family members who may have a lineage or roots there in the Caribbean, because I think it's important that you do not let this CARICOM reparation plan go past. Because if I'm a European country, I'm like, yeah, let's do that. That's a great plan. Let's give them exactly what they're asking for. And they're asking for nothing. Let's go down this a little bit. It calls upon European governments to participate in the CARICOM reparations plan, let's just call it that, with a view to prepare these victims and sufferers for full admission with dignity into the citizenship of the global community. The CRC here outlines the path to reconciliation, truth, and justice for victims and their descendants. Now, the first thing that they put on their plan, family, is freaking full formal apology. What is up with people with a apology? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a $150,000 check, or would you rather have an apology? Someone bumps you while you entering on a bus or you're in a store. Oh, my apologies, I'm sorry. That's an apology. These people got rich off the backs of your ancestors, and they use your land in order to do so. The number one major export of the Caribbean is sugar, which is not indigenous to the Caribbean. It's not indigenous. They went over there looking for gold and silver and other rare metals, but they say, no, what? You can't, there's none here. They tried to grow tobacco, that didn't work. So they started growing sugar, which really took off. And you know you use sugar for everything. You use sugar for chocolate, you use sugar for tea, which they love, you use sugar for coffee, etc. Anything you need sugar for. But it wasn't indigenous to the Caribbean. But they used their land and they used their bodies. Now, there were indigenous people already in the Caribbean, but by the way of all the slave ships and all the people that they was taken from the African continent, Africans started to outnumber the indigenous people of the Caribbean. Let's talk about it, family. So the first thing that the Caribbean community wants, and I'm not speaking for every Caribbean person, I'm speaking for the officials who made this trash, who made this garbage, this rubbish, this debris, whatever name you want to call for. This is absolutely horrific for you to call for a formal apology. You don't hear foundational Black Americans talking about no damn apology. We cut the check. Where the bag at? We want direct cash payments, and then we can talk about everything else. Then we can talk about land. Then we can talk about student forgiveness loans. Then we can talk about Medicaid programs. Then we can talk about community centers. But the first thing that should be on this plan is, because this is how the British got rich. This is how the French got rich. This is how all these people got rich. But you're going to ask for a damn apology. Man, you can wipe your ass with an apology. Repatriation. Repatriation. Are you serious? And basically what repatriation is, can you send out people of African descent back to Africa? It says over 10 million Africans were stolen from their homes and forcibly transported to the Caribbean as enslaved chattel and property of Europeans. The translated slave trade is the largest forced migration in human history and has no parallel in terms of man's humanity to men. Again, you can do that yourself with the money that you'll be getting from the 44 countries in Europe that had a stake, that had an investment, and yield numerous insurmountable amount of money to Europe. I mean, you go to Europe, you go to London, you go to Paris, you got the Versailles Palace. It's beautiful. I've been there. It's beautiful. It's large. All of that was built with the money from the Caribbean, from Africa. All that money that they built off the backs of Africans, enslaved Africans, that they took over 5 million to the Caribbean, as well as 5 million to Brazil. But you want repatriation. How about send them yourself? You're right there. Number 3, Indigenous People Development Program. What the hell is this? The government of Europe committed genocide upon the native Caribbean population. Military commanders were given official instruction by their government to eliminate these communities and to remove those who survived programs from the region. It goes on to say that a community had 3 million people and it was reduced down to 30,000 in 2000. What are you doing, though? It says University of West Indies offers Indigenous people scholarship and a desperate effort at rehabilitation. It is a woeful insufficient. A development plan is required to rehabilitate this community. What? A development plan? What the hell are y'all asking for? Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard them speak about money yet? The very same thing that they made off your ancestors. The very same thing that when they took your land, they made your own people till, farm, and plant sugar in order to export that to Europe to become rich. See, planters, that's what they used to call them back in the day, they became very, very rich from this juncture, from this transaction, from slavery. I don't know what the hell they're asking for. This is crazy that CARICOM is asking for this, the Caribbean community. Cultural institutions, oh my God. What is that going to do for your people? What is cultural institutions going to do for your people? See, I've been to Jamaica. And if anything, the Jamaican people need money. They don't need any cultural institutions. That's something that the government can do once you get the money. See, what they probably need to do is take a chapter out of Foundation of Black Americans book. And you know what that chapter says in very large letters and very large words? It says direct cash payments. Cut and dry. That's the first chapter. Direct cash payments. That's it. That's all. Then we can start talking about cultural institutions. That's not going to do anything for your people. I'm gonna go to number 5, and then we're gonna break down some more information, and we're gonna cover all 10 of them, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I've never heard of reparations like this. Everybody else gets money. Everybody else. Native Americans get money. Asians get money. Hispanics get money. Japanese got money. Irish got money. You guys are asking for institutions? You got to be more careful. Lord have mercy. Public health crisis. The African descendant population in the Caribbean has the highest incidence in the world of chronic disease and forms of hypertension and type 2 diabetes. That's because you know what? This pandemic is a direct result of nutritional experience, physical and emotional brutality, and overall stress profile associated with slavery, genocide, and apartheid. Over 10 million Africans were imported to the Caribbean during the 400 years of slavery. Ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about a public health crisis, and they're talking about hypertension and type 2 diabetes. You know what that tells me, right? First and foremost, that's something that their governments can do with the money that they should be getting from all those European nations. That's number one. Then number two, when you go to some of these countries, majority of their food is high in starch, it's high in carbs. Just like American Black people, we eat a lot of carbs. That's why we're fat. We're talking about rice and yuca, the root. All that is starchy vegetables. That increases your weight gain, which leads to hypertension and diabetes. You got all that fresh fruit and fresh vegetables over there. How about teaching your people nutrition and eggs to European nations for tangibles, for cash? And all those Europeans living over there, you need to eradicate them and get your freaking land back. I'm gonna continue here. I got 5 more to go, but I need to give you more in-depth knowledge about this thing. It's very important for you to have a clear, concise, transparent, care community sort of outlook on this. Because I know a lot of people in the Caribbean are not falling for this trick bag. I feel like whoever developed this plan, whoever created this plan, the committee, whoever created this bullcrap plan, they got paid off by the European countries. I just really think they did. I just really think they got paid off. Hello, Alaska Size, and we got Man in here. I'm going to read your comments later, family. I'm going to keep going here. Now, here are the 44 European nations. I'm going to read some of them. Some of them I wasn't aware, because they just said European governments that actually had slavery, like Russia. You really don't hear Russia come up in the whole slavery talk, do you? But Russia is the number 1 most populated European country in the world, and it is the largest country in the world. It has 145 million people, land mass, okay? I know America has more people. I don't want to speak out of context, okay? They're the largest country in the world by land mass, and they have the largest population in Europe, okay? Russia. So I started looking at Russia. I said, wait a minute, slavery was in Russia? Russian slavery and serfdom. Meaning serfdom just simply mean that they made Black people farm and till their land. I looked it up. That's all it really means. And it says medieval Russia, and they're talking about Ukraine, Belarus, and Great Russia. Now, how American slavery echoed Russian serfdom. They said, oh, they're making the enslaved Africans farm tobacco and sugar and indigo and all other sorts of things, and cotton, right? So I went to go ahead and read, family. It says here that Russian serfdom developed, as historian William C. Hines writes, during roughly the same time period as American slavery. The Russian Code of 1649 firmly embedded serfdom as a labor system. That's called enslavement. The Virginia House of Burgesses first piece of slave legislation allowing African slavery, allowing this is legislation in Russia, allowing African slavery for life, passed in 1661. Both Russians and Americans argued their system of bondage resulted in a superior society. That's why they had that whole Cold War. Russia had a lot of money off of slavery as well. That's why America and Russia was the world superpowers coming into the modern day society, especially in the 19th and 20th century when they was doing the Cold War, racing, seeing who can get to space first. They had the money off the backs of blacks. Yeah, Caribbean, this is who you should be going to. And we're going to go down some of these countries here. Let me go back. Russia, Germany, UK, France, Italy, Spain, Poland. Poland was up in that thing, Romania, Netherlands, Belgium. All of these countries profit off of slavery indirectly or directly. Belarus, Hungary, Sweden, Switzerland, Serbia, Austria, Denmark, Finland, Slovakia, Finland, Norway, Ireland, Croatia, Moldova, Bosnia, Lithuania, Macedonia. I mean, the list goes on and on. Luxembourg, Iceland, Holy See, literally, with 800 people. But you want a damn apology. You want a repatriation. You want cultural institutions. Man, get the hell out of here. Let me move on, family. Let's talk about it. An introduction to the Caribbean Empire and slavery. After the Caribbean was first colonized by Spain in the 15th century, a system of sugar planting and enslavement evolved. Let me move down. Growing sugar cane. The Europeans came to Caribbean in search of wealth. They came in search of wealth, money. How do you think when you go to countries like London, France, and even in Russia, they have all these large castles? How do you think they got the money to do that? By the way of Africa and the Caribbean. Because we already know how American got their money. The Spanish had originally looked for gold and silver, but there was little to be found. Instead, the Europeans tried growing different crops to be sold back home. After unsuccessful experiments with growing tobacco, the English colonists tried growing sugarcane in the Caribbean. This was not a local plant, but it grew well after its introduction, meaning that it took off very well. Sugarcane could be used to make various products. There was sugar, of course, which went well with tea, coffee, and chocolate. It could also be used to make rum, a strong alcoholic drink. A lot of people in Europe wanted such products. And as a result, those who grew it, known as planters, became very wealthy. What is wealth? Wealth is usually associated with money and land. They already had the land, so you think the other part of the wealth was? It was money. Now, before I jump back on these other 5 CARICOM 10-point trash plan, I'm going to read some of your comments here. All right. Man says there are too scared to demand anything. No wonder they are trying to tie themselves to us. Indeed, I agree. I'm so proud of our Black media for approaching reparation as a DEFCON 1 all hands on deck situation. Yes, sir. Rice and potatoes don't make you fat. Rice and potatoes smothered in grease fat toppings make you fat. Excuse me, family. Boston Overall, it says Africa is larger than Russia. Oh my God. Family, I think we got a troll in the room. Of course, Africa, the continent, is bigger than Russia, the country. Russia is the largest country by landmass. Boy, when people try to correct people on the internet, you better come correct. Golly, these people right here, boy. Don't be a troll. Be a smart troll. If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. But come on, bro. Come on. Let's get back on it, family. Let's get back on it. Now we're going to go to number 6. This is ridiculous. Illiteracy eradication. At the end of the European colonial period in most parts of the Caribbean, the British in particular left the Black indigenous communities in a general state of illiteracy. Some 70% of Blacks in British Columbia were functional illiterate in the 1960s when nation states began to appear. It jumps down and says that the Caribbean government allocate more than 70% of public expenditure to health and education in an effort to uproot the legacies of slavery and colonization. What are you asking for, CARICOM? What is it truly that your people need? What does your government need? What does your country need? It needs money to build the infrastructure to teach its own people. Why do you want Europe to do what they've already done, is teach you how to assimilate? See, the problem with this is, family, and not all my Caribbean brothers and sisters, a lot of them are coons. A lot of them don't even think they're Black half the time. They go over there in Europe, they find them a good job, they find them a good flat, a good place to live, and they just think I don't know what they think they are. You better look at yourself in the mirror and see what these people have done to your people, and stop demanding nothing. This is the demand of nothing. This is a plan of nothing. This should call the CARICOM 0 Point Plan. That's what it is. The CARICOM 0 Point Plan, because you ain't asking for nothing. And 99% of the things they're asking for, family, they can do themselves with the money they should be receiving from the 44 European nations. Number 7, are you serious? The African Knowledge Program. Hold up, I gotta hit this. I'm jumping down to the second paragraph. A program of actions is required to build bridges of belonging. Build bridges of belonging. Such projects as school exchanges and cultural tours, community, artistic and performing programs, entrepreneurial and religious engagements, as well as political interactions, blah, 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 blah. That's all that reads to me. You want the British to help you tie ties with your African brothers and sisters where you can do that yourself. I don't know what this is all about. It's like, why would I ask you to do something for me that I can do myself? If anything, this could be the CARICOM lazy as hell plan. The only thing you need from these European enslavers is that money and reclaiming your land stakes. And if any of them through traditionally took your land and they are still over there profiting off your land, yes, you need to get your land back. And I don't even know why you haven't done that yet. That's something you can do right now. You can take your people's land back. They should not be owning land in your country. Especially stolen land. Now, granted, there may be some people who got it the right way in the 21st century. Okay, you probably can't take their land, but those who've been sitting on land through lineage, through forefathers, throughout history, they gotta go. Let me move on. I don't see a reparations plan yet. I don't know what this is. Number 8, psychological rehabilitation. Family, I feel like a kindergarten wrote this. CARICOM should be ashamed of themselves. In the Caribbean community, you should be speaking loud and proud. Now, what you shouldn't do, my Caribbean community brothers and sisters, is be trying to stake claim here in America and try to squeeze and wedge and shoehorn your way into our reparations claim. No. Your atrocities of your countrymen happen in your country by the way of the European nations, the European countries. So that is who you take your reparations claim to, not the American government. That's what foundational Black Americans, those direct descendants of slaves here in America, to make it very clear. Yeah, cash payments first. Cash payments first, then we can talk about rebuilding the church. We can talk about loan forgiveness. We can talk about grants for who hell knows? I don't know. But the first thing is direct cash payments. See, I'm gonna go off on a limb here, and I'm gonna say probably 85 to 90% of the foundational Black Americans who are on code would tell you direct cash payments. Well, how much that will be? Well, let's divide 16 trillion by 40 million to start. Let's take 16 trillion, divide that by 40 million, and that is where we begin, not where we end. Okay, number 9, technology transfer. For 400 years, the trade and production policies of Europe could be summed up in the British slogan, "Not a nail is to be made in the colonies." What? The Caribbean was denied participation in European industrialization process and was confined to the role of producer and exporter of raw materials. This system was designed to extract maximum value for a region and to enable maximum wealth accumulation in Europe. The effectiveness of these policies meant that the Caribbean entered its nation-building phase, a technology and scientifically ill-equipped backward space within the postmodern world economy. If you don't know what to ask for, don't ask for nothing. Because if I'm part of the European nations that's going to gather around and make a committee for all the people that our forefathers and ancestors wronged, and now they're asking for reparations, and the CARICOM 10 Point Plan come across my desk, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna be the first one to sign this one. Y'all see what they asking for? What they asking for, Billy Bob? Probably not in Europe, they don't have Billy Bob. Esquire, what are they asking for, Esquire? Nothing. Let's sign it. They're asking for nothing. So these countries in CARICOM, let me show these countries again. These countries in CARICOM, can you please ask for something? Okay, Grenada, can you ask for something? Haiti, jump in there. You know, shut this shit down. Shut it down. Like, no, that's not what we want. Because we don't want anything if you go with that. Jamaicans, I know Jamaica's gonna ride on this one. Jamaica's like, nah, man. This is not what we want. I have a horrible accent. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm just trying to bring in the spirit of the Jamaican spirit, okay? Trinidad and Tobago, oh, hell no. I know you guys are gonna be riding together. This is a nothing. This is nothing. Let me continue. Technology transfer. I don't know what that is. I read a bunch of nothing. They're not asking for nothing. And then last but not least, as soon as we start getting to tangibles of some sort, is debt cancellation? Debt cancellation. I mean, shit, learn from Foundation Black Americans. We've been poor our whole entire life. Shit, we started off young. We get a credit card, a couple of loans. We get our debt canceled. You know what it's called? Don't pay it. 7 years, don't pay it. Hey, let that shit ride, man. 7 years to be wiped off anyway. I don't got nothing to do. I just bought me a brand new car. It should have lasted 7 years. I'm good to go. That's what you call debt cancellation. This ain't nothing even to me. No, this ain't nothing. It says here the Caribbean government that emerged from slavery and colonialism have inherited the massive crisis of community poverty and institutional unpreparedness for development. This is word salad at best. I don't know what they're talking about. These governments still daily engage in the business of cleaning up the colonial mess in order to prepare for the development. The pressures of development has driven governments to carry the burden of public employment and social policy designed to confront colonial legacies. This process has resulted in states accumulating unsustainable levels of public debt that now constitute their fiscal entrapment. This debt cycle probably belongs to the imperial governments who have made no sustained attempt to deal with the dilapidating colonial legacies. Support for payment of domestic debt and cancellation of international debt are necessary reparatory actions. Support for the payment of domestic debt. Not give us payment, support of the payment. Let me tell you something. You ever was doing something that maybe a friend of yours or a family member of yours didn't absolutely agree with it, but they say, oh, I support you. Support is verbal. What the hell? Like, yeah, man, I support you in that. Oh, you gonna come with me? Nah, man, shit, I got your back though, man. I'm gonna be here rooting for you. Some people just think if they're cheerlead, if they pump you up, that's supporting you. They're not asking for anything in this 10-point plan. This is ridiculous. So guys, when you see this, tell your Caribbean friends, okay? Tell all of them. Because you know, there's like 1 million Jamaicans There's like a million Jamaicans in that UK area, especially in London and Great Britain, all these places. They have a lot of Jamaicans that, nah, man, no, you guys should not be falling for the trickery in this plan. And matter of fact, you should expose the people who are part of this CARICOM Reparations Committee. That's who you should do. We need to know the people who sat down and came up with this bull crap, talking about CARICOM Reparations Commission asserts the European government. You ain't asserting nothing. If I'm a European official, the first thing I'm gonna do is sign this quick, fast, in a hurry. That is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna sign this CARICOM 10-point plan fast, and you can say Uchi Wali Wali. That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. This is ridiculous, family. And I'm gonna read your notes here, and I got one more thing to cover, because still to this day, there are Caribbean countries that fall under British rule. Now, I see Jamaicans, they talk about reparations. I'm seeing other countries that I think Belize, they broke away from the British Empire. All of these countries need to. But guess what? The British are still claiming some of you guys. You should be like, take that shit out, take that stuff off your website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let me move on. Let me see. Steve Bryant, sounds like the BS Congressional Black Caucus would write. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. What we got right here? We got Bob Nova said he unsubscribing because I corrected him. You see that, family? I don't have time to be playing games when we're talking about reparations. And just to address our Caribbean brothers and sisters, I don't have time for it. But brother, if you're going to come and try to correct me, at least have factual information. Okay? So go ahead and unsubscribe. Thank you for watching. Let's see here. Yep, man says all I hear is fear. Absolutely. Thank you, Jermaine Anderson, for moderating, sir. I do appreciate it. We won't be telling them shit. 100% of our focus on our reparations. Not our job to wake them up. I understand that, man. I understand that. I just want to make sure that they understand that they can't stake claim in our reparations claim when you guys have your own bullcrap claim. And maybe you don't go talk to these CARICOM Reparation Committee guys and ladies to understand that they're not asking or wanting of anything. But let's go a little deeper here. What I mean by deeper, I mean, let's point out how the United Kingdom are royal assholes, because they don't care what these Caribbean countries are saying. They're like, you belong to us, right? That's what they're saying. You belong to us. Here we go. The Commonwealth. The website is royal.uk. We're talking about royalty here. Off the backs of blacks, enslaved Africans. Right off the bat, the Bahamas. The Bahamas. I'm gonna break these black countries down because the UK lets you know who you belong to. The Queen's role in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is constitutional monarchy, meaning they broke it. Look, they made sure people understood this. Meaning that the Queen has a unique relationship with the country in all her official duties relating to the many islands which make up the Bahamas. Her Majesty speaks and acts as Queen of the Bahamas. This is unbelievable, family. This is unbelievable. Let me take this off screen real quick. I'm gonna show you something, because I mean I want to show you guys something that I think it makes me laugh a little bit, right? It just makes me laugh a little bit because it's laughable. I hate to say it that way. It's laughable because this is absolutely ridiculous. Let me pop this up here. I'm gonna blow it up for you guys. We need to break this down, family. Now it's gonna be a little bit blurry, but I want to bring context to this. Here we go. Now here's the map of the world, and you see where the circle is. Right above that circle, over to the left, is the UK. You got United Kingdom, you got Ireland, Norway, Sweden, you got all the Portugal, you got all those European countries kind of in a nugget there, in a little circle. Then I want you to look where the Caribbean is, right? We're closer to the Caribbean than the UK is, but they're still claiming them, right? And they have over here Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, and they're still staking claim to these Caribbean countries all the way across the world. Let me go back. She's a queen of the Bahamas. The royal family links with the country have been strengthened by regular royal visits throughout Her Majesty's reign. And even though, what was the royal family? Well, I'm just going, the unroyal family that went over there, I forgot, was it Jamaica? They didn't even want them in the country. But the government still let them in. They was playing soccer. They were having a good old time. They're like, oh, we're in one of our countries that our family ruled for hundreds of years. Yeah. We over here playing soccer with the peasants. Yeah, we're playing soccer with the peasants. And everybody went along with it. Everybody playing soccer with the royal family or unroyal family. Let me go back. I want you guys just to see what I've seen when the United Kingdom speaks about the countries that are part of their Commonwealth. Let's go to Barbados. Now, all the countries I'll be talking about are majority Black countries, okay? The Queen's role in Barbados. Uh-oh, here we go. That's what the country was. It was Barbados. I love this. Now, they have put this out publicly. In November of 2021, Barbados became a republic, meaning that the Queen is no longer head of state, though the island nation remained part of the Commonwealth. What? Family, correct me if I'm wrong. Native Americans who are federally recognized in America, and you go on their reservations, they're their own sovereign state. Am I right? How are you going to, wait a minute, I'm not the head of the state, but you're still part of my Commonwealth. I still own you. What? Family, I'm reading it verbatim. I thought they totally broke away from the crown. I thought they totally broke away from the UK. They haven't. They didn't say, you know what, we're going to let one of your people be head of state, but we still own you. That's why they're still up here. Dame Sandra Mason is now president of Barbados, having served as a governor general. The Queen, listen to this, the Queen's representative in Barbados from 2018. She was voted president elected by the people of Barbados in October of 2021. If you are of Barbados descent, you still belong to the UK. You're still part of the Commonwealth. Even though they had a Black representative, you still belong to the Queen. I'm not gonna linger here, family. It just kind of makes me think. That's all. I'm just thinking here. Let's go to Belize, another majority Black nation. You see our family out here, our distant cousins out here. Her Majesty is head of state in Belize, meaning that she has a unique relationship with the Central American country and all her official duties relating to Belize. She speaks and acts as the Queen of Belize, the Queen of Black people, the Queen of the Caribbean people there in Belize. She still owns you guys. Let me ask you something. If you had a couple of kids, let's say you stole a couple of kids. Let's just say, I don't know, you stole a couple of kids and you had them in bondage and you let them go, but you kept an eye on them. I ain't gonna even go there, but that's what it means to me. You still belong to me. Let me go on, family. So we got the Bahamas, Barbados, yeah. Grenada's majority black country, right? Let's read what she is to her, the Queen's role in Grenada. Her Majesty is the Queen of Grenada. They tell you right off the back, they don't even waste no time this time, is the Queen of Grenada, an island country in the Eastern Caribbean. This means that she has a unique relationship with the country and all her official duties relating to Grenada. She speaks and acts as the Queen of Grenada. How can a lily white lady from the UK be queen of all these black countries in the 21st century today? Ask yourself that question. How can she be queen if they don't allow it? The only reason why she is still queen, Her Majesty in all her glory, is still the queen, is because they allow it. It reminds me, a lot of my African brothers and sisters always talk about the government. I guess this is the government too. It says here, completely separate to her role as Queen of the UK, ties between the royal family and the Caribbean nation has been strengthened through royal visits to the island. Of course, this is where they vacation at. They only come there to vacation. Anybody ever been to the UK? Where you going vacation there at? Now, granted, I've been through a lot of those European nations. They have really nice grass, right? They have this majestic fog, really nice grass. But where you gonna go fun in the sun, beautiful beaches, clear water? Ain't no water clear. Man, you know what? Ain't no water clear in America, unless you go to Hawaii or somewhere, which is not even connected to America. Let me keep going, family. I think I was one or two more countries that belong to the Queen. Jamaica. Oh, my brothers. The Queen's role. Her Majesty is the Queen of Jamaica. Come on, guys. Is that Prince Harry running with Usain Bolt? They having a great all time. And you got a bunch of Jamaicans out there like, look at Usain Chase. He running with the Prince. CARICOM, you should be ashamed of yourself with this horrible 10-point plan. I don't know what's going on. It says, Her Majesty is the Queen of Jamaica and as such continues to play an important ceremonial and symbolic role in Jamaican life. Jamaica is a constitutional monarchy with the Queen as sovereign. Queen as sovereign, meaning she is the highest official in Jamaica. Think about that. She's sovereign. In all of her duties related to Jamaica, the Queen speaks and acts as Queen of Jamaica, Queen of the Black people, Queen of the Caribbean. Let's move on. Boy, you got to be more careful. And look, they tell their business right on their website. You don't got to go nowhere. You don't got to go over there and visit. You don't got to go over there and look. Just read on their website. United Kingdom, they ain't playing no games with people. What else? Papua New Guinea, St. Christopher and Nevis. I know St. Christopher and Nevis is not a popular country that people really heard of, but it's a majority Black country. Look at all the Black people. Let's read about it. Her Majesty is the Queen of St. Christopher and Nevis, often known as St. Kitts and Nevis, and such as she has a unique relationship in these two mountainous islands of the Eastern Caribbean. The Queen receives regular updates via her Governor General, day-to-day matters of the government of the island. She is Queen of St. Kitts and Nevis. Let's do one more. Let's do Papua New Guinea. We already know Papua New Guinea is a majority Black country. The Queen is the head of the state in the South Pacific country of Papua New Guinea, where she's known as Miss Queen or Quinn, and Mama belong big fat man. Stop. No. See, family. They're giving homage. They're giving respect. There ain't no respect. They own you. A Creole language spoken throughout the 600 plus islands. And here's the thing, family. When you look at the Caribbean. Just take the Bahamas. Bahamas, hundreds of islands. Papua New Guinea, 600 islands. Some of these are habitable, some of these are inhabitable, but they're resources for the United Kingdom. Why do you think a small country like the United Kingdom has so much wealth? Not only do they steal from the Caribbean, they stole from Africa too. Her Majesty is supported in her role by other members of the royal family who have visited the country many times during her reign and who continue to celebrate and reward the achievement of its citizens. They're rewarding the citizens of Papua New Guinea. Oh my gosh. All of these countries, family, they colonized. And colonization is an organized way of slavery. That's all it is. Colonization is an organized way of slavery, saying we own you. The Queen's relationships to Papua New Guinea is unique, and all her duties related to Papua New Guinea, she speaks and acts as queen, and not as queen of the United Kingdom for day-to-day issues. The royal family, and this is what she says, the Queen receives the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Peter O'Neill, in a private audience at Windsor Castle. And she's shaking the man's hand like, man, thank you for letting us pretty much run and own your country. And he's saying, no problem, Queen, no problem. Let's go one more. I'm not going to even Tuvula. I'm going to do St. Lucia because everybody likes to go to St. Lucia. Me and my wife was going to go to St. Thomas and St. Lucia, which we know are predominantly Black. And family, when you look at a lot of Caribbean people, now I'm not going to lie, a lot of them are very similar to foundation Black Americans, like their features. They really are. I'm not saying they are, I'm saying their features. The Queen of St. Lucia, as Queen of St. Lucia, Her Majesty maintains a unique relationship with this beautiful Eastern Caribbean island. All of these places are beautiful. Melanated people live in some of the most beautiful places in the world. And a bunch of those European nations, they live in horrible places in the world where it stays cold and wet and foggy majority of the time. That's why they go to the Caribbean and all these other places to vacation. That's why the Dutch went down and colonized South Africa and put them through apartheid, which is very comparable to slavery and Jim Crow here in America, because of the beauty of it all. We live in beautiful places, and quite frankly, they were jealous, and they had the advanced technology of weaponry, because that's all they did in Europe was fight against each other for gold, silver, wealth, and land. That's all they did. So they had a jump on technology when it came to weapons by them own selves, and also by the way of the Chinese with gunpowder. Let me keep reading. Keeping informed of day-to-day government matters via her representative in country, the Governor General, the Royal. Okay, we got it. Then she writes here, the Queen visited 28 Commonwealth countries in the 1960s, included Ghana, St. Lucia, Trinidad, and Tobago. Yep. And see, here's the thing. There's so many countries that can stake claim to the UK, to France, to all of these countries. Because you know why? The United Kingdom, they colonized India. They colonized China. So when we look at these things, family, there's so many people who can stake a claim for reparation by the way of the European countries. But again, CARICOM, what the hell are you doing? Much love goes out to my African brothers and sisters as well as the Caribbean. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if this is divisive or not. You have no claim. You have you don't have a vote. You don't have a word. You shouldn't even speak about matters here in America dealing with our reparation claim of what's owed to foundational Black Americans. You have no say-so. You have no voice. You have no vote. You don't have a pinky, a toe, nothing. Your claim is with European nations. And the people of those nations, of those Caribbean countries, of those African countries should speak out. But maybe I don't know anything, and the government is going to come lock all millions of you people up. See, they talk about us. They talk about, oh, what about the black on black crime in America? What about this and what about that? And when you look at the conditions of these Caribbean countries, when you look at the condition of these African countries, you probably shouldn't worry about foundational Black Americans and what we are going through, because we really tried the whole Pan-Africanism, and right now we're putting a pause on it. We're like, you know what? You my brother, you my cousin, but for right now, we're gonna focus on our reparations claim to the United States government, as well as you should focus on your reparations claim to the many European nations that made wealth. All the countries I'm speaking about here today. That's what we should be talking about. Stop worrying about us. If we killing ourselves, let us kill ourselves. If Detroit shooting up the place, let us shoot up. If Michigan is in Flint, Michigan, they're not getting clean water, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How about this? How about you go back to your country and you start rallying up the troops, rallying up your people, and stake claim to all those European nations that owe you guys reparations. So think about it. If you guys get reparations and we get reparations, we're probably doing a lot better, instead of we're trying to get reparations and you trying to squeeze and wedge and fit and shoehorn your way into our reparations claim, or you're trying to negate, you're trying to refute, you're trying to debunk, you're trying to sabotage our reparations claim. How about you not do that? How about it? Because everybody, oh, it's divisive. You're trying to divide Black people. No, it's about money. It's kind of like if my father did some work and he finished the work, but he never got paid. And in his will, in his trust, or by paperwork itself, that his money is left to his son. His money is left to his descendants. And then all of a sudden you come over and you say, well, I'm Black, I should get that too. You have nothing to do with this. This is the work. This is the pain and suffering. This is the blood and tears of our ancestors and forefathers. And most importantly, we built this country as foundational Black Americans. And I say we take the honor and homage of our forefathers and ancestors, and we live with that. We are part of that lineage. You guys are not. Rightfully so. I'm not going to go to Jamaica. I'm not going to go to Haiti. I'm not going to Kenya. I'm not going to Ghana. I'm not going to South Africa and say that anyone there, I should be fitted, I should be listed, and reparations is owed to me because I've been over here 10, 15 years of my life and things have happened to me. No, this is not about racism. This is about being prejudiced. This is about slavery of foundational Black Americans. That's what our reparations coming from. Not because you got pulled over and you got a ticket because you had a busted tail light. Not because you was at the wrong place, wrong time, and a race soldier wrongfully convicted you or incarcerated you and put you in jail. No, it's not about that. You guys got to know where you stake your reparations claim at. That's what you need to do. Let's see what we got going on over here. Let's see here. Here's my buddy, Boss Nova. Matter of fact, I had just subscribed a person that may disagree is not a troll. Learn how to talk to people, bro. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you please come back and subscribe? Now you think I'm pandering and I'm toying with you. Steve Bryan, I thought we were free too. I thought they were free too. They are. Steve Bryan also states when the FBA get them checks and scatter to the corners of the globe, just watch how fast those areas come up. They will come up, and you know that. Man says she also had Canada and Northern Ireland. I'm not talking about Canada, brother. I'm not talking about no white countries, okay? I'm not talking about no white country. Some people will state that Ireland was actually settled by some Moors who explored the land prior to what we know as white Irish people today, that the original Irish people were Black, okay? That's another topic for another day. So I won't get into that. Okay. Mando said that's why immigration, oh yeah, in Cobra, NARC, all of these have been trying to really deflect reparations onto their groups, because we know a lot of these groups are from the Caribbean and Africa that makes up those commissions and also those committees. So we have to watch out for the trick bag too. Here we go. Steve Bryan says stealing is their natural nature. I added in that word because it is natural to them to steal, kill, pillage, and plunder. I was on a British camp in Afghanistan, and those soldiers would steal anything that's not nailed down. But I'm gonna say this, okay? This is towards the government, not the UK people, not the European people, but to those governments, because we understand that the people today, whether they support it or not, was not during those times, but the government knows what occurred, and they know the amount of money that they have accumulated and summed up over the years. Okay, we got my brother Seneb in here. Nice to see you, Seneb. This organization have been ineffective because of Congress. They don't have a vote. Thank you very much, brother. Moors in Ireland, really? Which adult believes that? I believe those adults who don't know history. It's kind of like the Maroons. The Maroons were really labeled and named as, at one point in time, enslaved Africans who escaped slavery and started their own colony, and rightfully so, to fight back against white tyranny and white oppression. But family, you may not agree with everything I said here today, but I believe there's one thing that we can believe, or a couple of things that we can agree on, is that this particular plan here, the CARICOM 10 Point Plan, is absolutely the CARICOM 0 Point Plan. It has no tangibles for these people, and we have to be very careful of people whose lineage does not derive and state back from the foundational Black American lineage, that they don't get in on this and try to scapegoat and weasel their way in. Now, we understand that California said that reparations claim will be lineage-based, which is absolutely what we need throughout the other 49 states. We need this to be lineage-based and not race-based, because you know all other types of groups are going to try to get in on this if it's race-based. You're going to have white people saying that their great-great-great-grandfather, grandmother was 5% Black and they are owed money as well. They're owed reparations as well. You're going to have Indian people, because, you know, for a while after British release, I won't even say release, kind of gave them independence, gave India the independence back, the Indians, East Indians, had enslaved Africans within their country, enslaved. And then when the Indians released these enslaved Africans, the enslaved Africans sought to become part of the Indian monarchy. They became part of the Indian government. And I forgot the gentleman's name, but he actually became King of India. I don't know if there's King of India or president, whatever official name that they have. But yeah, at one point in time, they actually had an enslaved freed African who became essentially King of India. You can look that up as well, just as well as Russia. Because we know Russia with serfdom, they had African slaves over there as well to till and farm their lands. All of this is important, family. Because again, Caribbean and African countries need to go to the UK, needs to go to those European countries, and I popped them up, Russia as well. Let me pop that up one more time so you guys understand about serfdom, Russian slavery and serfdom, and how that echoed from American slavery. Okay, I'm trying to give you some receipts here so you can go and research this yourself. Senab says, CARICOM is a little different. Those nations are choosing to engage in cooperative economics. Absolutely not. They're not engaging in anything economically. They're asking for nothing. When you read the 10-point plan, like I have, I read about 2 or 3 times, they're asking for nothing. I think the most financial economic thing that they're asking for is debt cancellation. And even when you read that, they talk about support debt cancellation. Okay. And again, these 15 countries as part of CARICOM, man, throw that shit in the trash. They shouldn't even made that public. Lamar, the governor in Mississippi said he's open to do the same as California. Okay. But I'm going to tell you, family, just the way California did, the people have to have a grassroots effort and push it, because that's what the Californians did. They pushed this effort to even start the committee, to even start for them to vote on it, okay? So you got to have grassroots. You got to have the people speak out and continue to speak out. I hear Jamaicans speaking out against reparations. And guess who they're taking a claim with? The European countries. But not the way of CARICOM. That's ridiculous. Steve Bryan says those $5 Indians going to feel like they got shortchanged. Oh, no, they're not. A lot of those $5 Indians, those red-faced, Mongolian-looking type, they got a lot of reparations. And a lot of those $5 Indians actually got land out of it. See, there's so much history, family, and I know a lot of times we're going to disagree on some particulars, but verbatim, when you read the CARICOM 10-point plan, family, there's nothing tangible there. It's a bunch of, it's verbiage. It's kind of like when I used to write term papers when I was in college. She said, you just got a bunch of words here, but you're not saying them, Mr. Ross. I'm like, oh, you need to get to the point. Foundation of Black Americans, we already know the first reparations claim for us on our 1-point plan. Well, as a matter of fact, let me tell you something like this. If Foundation of Black Americans came up with a plan like this, we call it the Foundation of Black American 10-point reparations plan. Let me tell you how it would read. Number 1, direct cash payments. Number 2, direct cash payments. Number 3, direct cash payments. Number 4, direct cash payments. We'll get down to number 9, direct cash payments. And then number 10 would be reclaiming the land that was stolen for our forefathers and ancestors. You get what I'm getting at? Because a lot of they're asking for nothing in our plan. And Seneb, that's my brother Seneb. We agree, we disagree on some things, and that's fine. We're still brothers. But I tell you this, you go back, I don't know if you read it, go back and read it, and you'll see there's nothing in that plan. But family, there you have it today. If you like the video, please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to unsubscribe, like my buddy Boss Nova did, then do that as well, because he didn't like the way I talked to him. But hey, we're talking about money, man. We can't play no games with this. We can't play no games with this. And the only reason why this was important to really point out is to see how one group of people is asking for actual tangibles and another group is asking for absolutely nothing, 10 ways from Sunday, they're asking for absolutely nothing, and how some of these people try to blend in with these people who are asking for things. And then when we try to make the separation, they say how divisive it is, and it's not divisive at all. Because I can tell you this, if I work for GM, and I did the work for GM, I should get paid by GM. Same if with CARICOM. Your ancestors and forefathers, they worked and was enslaved and colonized by the European countries. And they did not get any reparations. They didn't get any compensation. They didn't get any monetary direct payments. You should be receiving that from them. Not trying to like, oh, you got some more room for us in here? Man, this thing sure is tight. Nah, bruh. We don't got no more room. But I love you. Black Power, I love you. But I don't have no room for you. Let's see, Lamarcus says CARICOM and the rest need to stay out of our business. I don't know if they're really trying to be in our business, so to speak. I just kind of wanted to make a comparison, okay? If anything, I want to make this very clear and concise, family. This is not a divisive video at all, but I wanted to make a clear and cut separation from what we are owed versus what they are owed, and how we go about getting it. And you don't get it like that. You don't get it like that. So happy Thursday to everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money, CARICOM. Learn money. Goddamn. Learn what money is. Learn how you should get the money. Learn who owes you the money. And be inspired. I'm out.